Members of the Stephenville Town Council, members of management, and for anybody that's joining us via electronic media, I'd like to welcome everybody to the January 12th meeting of the Town Stephenville, our public meeting. Actually, this is our second meeting in January, and I would ask the councilor to move that the agenda be adopted. Moved by Councilor Tracy Boland, seconder. Second, Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. I hope everybody had some really good New Year's resolutions.
I don't think anybody made it.
I don't think I've ever made a New Year's
I
resolution.
made one, I'm not gonna say. But anyways, item number 2 is the approval of our previous minutes. We had 2. So I would ask for item number A, somebody move that our public meeting of council that was circulated by our town clerk for December 20th, 2022 be approved. Moved by Councilor Lenny Tiller, seconder. Second Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, item number B was a privilege meeting held by council on January the 5th, 2023. I would ask a member of council that those meeting minutes be approved. Moved by Councilor Tracy Boland, seconder. Second, Councilor Myra White, all in favor.
Aye.
Motion carried. Are there any matters arising from the minutes? No matters arising from the minutes, so we will move on to proclamations and delegations. I know it's early in the year, but I don't think we have any. Okay? Okay, at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our committee reports. We'll turn it over to our Chair of Finance for her new fiscal year 2023. 5.1, Councilor Myra White, take it away.
Thank you, Mayor. The Finance Committee met on January the 9th, 2023, and the following items were recommended for council approval. Item number 1, approval for a line of credit. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville is requesting approval from the Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs to borrow from the Royal Bank of Canada, St. John's, Newfoundland, in the amount of $2,800,000 line of credit. The line of credit will be for a term of 1 year at a variable rate of prime minus 0.5%. The minimum monthly payment will be $5,000 monthly plus interest. The balance of $2,800,000 will be fully repaid in full by July 30th, 2023. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. I'd just like to just add a question to that, I guess. Traditionally, we tend to go into our line of credit, closing into the end of our last quarter and going into the beginning of our first quarter as a rule of thumb. Our tax receipts, unfortunately, it's good news for us, but maybe not so good news for some people that will receive them, but our tax bills will go out in the mail. And obviously we have a total budget of about 10 million, but our tax revenue is about 7 million of that budget. Taking out fees, municipal operating grants and so forth. So that money comes in fairly quickly. It's anticipated that with tax settlements, with some future cash on revenue, and with the great taxpayers that we have in the town of Stephenville, because that's one thing we're very fortunate is that our residents from property tax on residential and even our business community are very good taxpayers. So we're anticipating that by the end of March, April, that line of credit will be down to a very reasonable, or could be down to 0. So just wanted to clarify that for council and for anybody who's listening. So all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 2, approval to borrow sand truck and skid steer loader. Be it resolved that the Town Council of Stephenville is requesting to borrow $354,116.40 from the Royal Bank of Canada, St. John's, Newfoundland for the following. Capital equipment, municipal share, 100%. 2022 Caterpillar DC A6 skid steer loader, $107,467.22. 107. I'm sorry, do you want me to repeat that? $107,467.22. Okay.
Okay.
2023 Freightliner sand truck, $246,649.18. The net amount for capital equipment is $354,116.40. The GST rebate of $36,377.01 paid out of town funds. The interest rate is 6.24%. Monthly payments will be $5,331.40. It's a term of 5 years, amortization 7 years. I saw.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second by Councilor Lori Elwood. I'd just like to add a couple of things, in particular, two of the pieces of equipment. Obviously, they're 100%. It's not an 80-20 ratio like water and sewer projects, so it costs us 100%. But allowing us to borrow and extend it gives us the ability not to raise taxes. Now, if we had to pay for everything and start raising taxes, not a good time with inflation, with the price of cost of goods, groceries, gasoline. There are a lot of hardships out there, so we're in fiscal position to borrow. A good move of council. But on two things, on the skid steer, I just want to say that we have been adding new sidewalks to Stephenville. Every year we do. I think just 1 year we missed because of COVID. We were restricting a lot of our extra work from our employees, doing floor work. But last year we started at the sidewalks again. And these skid steers are very, very important when it comes to clearing the sidewalks. The other thing I want to say, the sand truck, it's really a sand salt truck. And I think since I've been on council, this is not the first one we're after buying, Laura, because the corrosiveness of salt and these sand trucks takes a lot of wear and tear. It's one of the pieces of equipment that tends to have replacement coming a little faster than, say, a rubber tire loader, a dump truck. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 3, approval to borrow Pleasant Avenue Phase 2, number 17-GI-22-00001. Be it resolved that the Town Council of Stephenville is requesting to borrow $226,513 from the Royal Bank of Canada, St. John's, Newfoundland for the following. Project number 17-GI-22-0001, Pleasant Avenue Reconstruction Phase 2. Project costs $1,248,922.00. Net municipal share of 20% is $226,513.00. The GST rebate of $116,356.00 paid out of town funds. The interest rate of 6.24%. Monthly payments will be $2,593.90. The term of 5 years, amortization 10 years. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second by Councilor Lenny Killer. Just want to say a couple things here. As you well know, the Pleasant Avenue was an 80-20 ratio where we only had to pay 20%. We received that from municipal affairs, province and the feds. But when it came to the playground, they don't qualify for an 80-20. So that was a 33%. And there are times when leveraging is important to us. The 80-20 is a wonderful thing. Be nice if we get some that was 100%, but 80-20 is good.
Yeah.
50% is good, but 33% is good also. And what happens is different priorities. A playground would not have a priority as water and sewer as a core area of responsibility. So you would see a higher ratio for us to be able to handle those expenditures. That's controlled closely with municipal affairs. So on that note, moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. We got the seconder already, Lenny Tiller. All in favor?
Aye.
Councilor Mine? Motion carried.
Item number 4, approval to borrow Blanchbrook Park number 17-CCR-21-00016. Be it resolved that the Town Council of Stephenville is requesting to borrow $203,158.08 from the Royal Bank of Canada, St. John's, Newfoundland, for the following. Project number 17-CCR-21-00016, Playground Blanchbrook Park. The project costs $504,664.00. Okay, I'm at the game. I'm getting tongue tied now.
Yeah.
$504,664.00 plus project cost overruns, $55,824.50. The net municipal share of 33.33%, $152,534 plus net cost overruns of $50,534. Okay, $50,534. They go back there again. It's gonna be my third time.
Not your night, Myra, but that's okay. Picture lipstick.
$50,534.08, which comes out to equals $203,158.08. GST rebate of $52,217.42 paid out of town funds. The interest rate of 6.24%. The monthly payments will be $2,326.45 for a term of 5 years. Amortization 10 years. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second, Councilor Tracy Bolton. Just say a couple of things there. Probably the last time we borrowed a few years back, interest rates were a little lower.
Yeah.
And everybody knows the impact of high housing cap and inflation. And the Bank of Canada monitors that very closely. And sometimes people have a hard time wrapping their head around why do they increase interest rates, but it is for very valid financial reasons to actually handle the state of the economy. And so on this one, you know, it's a term for 5 years, but 5 years from now, we may be back down to renegotiating the final years on that amortization. That could be down to 4%. But it's just something that's actually brings down housing ability to drop housing prices. Now, when you get the mortgage, you got to pay a little bit more interest, but it's still a measure that helps the economy. And the Bank of Canada plays that critical role in our Canada's chartered banking system. So just wanted to clarify that. So we have a motion, we have a seconder, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 5, to rescind motions, requesting approval to rescind motions number 22-373, motion number 22-374, motion number 22-375. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, seconder.
I'll second.
Second, Councillor Tristan Newland. Can we get some clarifications from the clerk and management on the rescinding of those motions?
So that was the previous, if I recall correctly, December 8th meeting.
Okay.
There was a majority, 2/3 majority of council present, and there was some grants.
That was that meeting in December.
Oh.
Okay, so
So
they
they're-
had to be redone. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's when you had to leave the meeting. You were in pain, the Councillor Tracy Boland. And I was in St. John's and we were kind of thin on staff. So thanks for catching up on that, Jennifer.
When you just, yeah, and left.
So that's moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 6 is a grant for a retention program for Western Health, Royal Canadian Legion. Requesting approval to provide a grant in the amount of $15,000 to the Royal Canadian Legion to deliver program benefits for Western Health Retention Program. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, seconder. Second, Councillor Tracy Boland. All in favor? Motion carried.
Item number 7, donation Christmas Community Cafe. Requesting approval to give a donation in the amount of $500 to the Southwestern Newfoundland Housing Stability Initiative towards the Christmas Community Cafe. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, second by Councillor Tracy Boland. I'd just like to kind of add something to this one. And actually, I was watching the news today, listening to this psychiatrist,
Janine.
Dr. Hubbard, I believe. And, you know, she was making some really good points about micro-socialization. And these community cafes we have in town, it brings a lot of people out. And around this table, we know a lot of people, especially the counselors working on our Guardian Angel program.
Hats off to them. I think
Oh.
it's a fantastic
Yeah,
way to give back to the community.
yeah. But the importance of that socialization, just being on council and socializing with council, it helps us in your life. And, you know, but there's so many lonely people out there. And sometimes these community cafes that happen could be their only day out that week from their apartment.
It really is.
And, you know, so it goes to show that there's a lot of heart in the community, a lot of volunteerism, and it's something to be very proud of. Say you're from Stephenville with so much happening. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 8, sponsorship. Arts NL TV show, Home is Where the Art Is. Requesting approval to provide a sponsorship to Home is Where the Art Is 2022 Company Limited in the amount of $7,500 plus HST. Also move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, seconder. Second, Councillor Oriola. Now, Councillor White, if I asked you to say that 5 times in a row really fast, Home is Where the Art Is, maybe not a good night to ask you that.
You noticed how slow I said that because I didn't want any other word to come up because it may not sound very well.
At Myra White, she don't now pronounce her H's. But it is ART.
So these motions that we're going through before I call for the vote on this one is the ones that we had done in December without the quorum. So
Yes.
that was brought up. So all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 9 is property tax, requesting approval for property tax write-offs in the amount of $25,336.64. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Deputy Mayor Susan Call. I just want to say, just not that we're into the new year, but we've been having some good discussions with municipal affairs. But the dynamics of the demand on Stephenville's properties is growing, as we well know, with pending announcements with World Energy. for the hydrogen plant startup and the wind farms and the Diamond Airport. That as Stephenville wasn't growing, people holding on to land and having a lot of write-offs, whether it was water and sewer, was part of a policy driven by council in the past that carried forward. But the dynamics of the business climate in Stephenville is changing. So as we see what transpires in this fiscal year, as we go into our budget for 2024, we may make some necessary changes there that will actually help the revenue stream, that will keep the mill rate from going down, and will actually help stimulate maybe movement of infilling properties. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 10, water and sewer tax, requesting approval for water and sewer tax adjustments in the amount of $1,736.93. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second by Councilor Lenny Tiller, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 11, business tax, requesting approval for business tax write-offs in the amount of $1,060.00 and adjustments of $933.63. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Lori Aylward, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 12, expense check listing for the December 2022, requesting approval to pay the expense check listing for December 2022 totaling $473,968.20. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay,
Before you move to the next item, I'm going to step away from the table because I'll be in conflict on the first 5 items. And I'll ask Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow to chair the meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
you want the gavel?
What's that?
You want the gavel?
No, I think I can be okay without the gavel.
Oh.
Item number 13 is council expense claims, requesting approval to pay council expense claims as listed. Item number 1, Tom Rose, St. John's World Energy Dinner Invite, $394.26.
I just, I'm gonna hold a second now and let the mayor's gotta go to the gallon, right?
To the gal.
I'm going to the lobby.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna put up a cushion. I'm gonna put up a curtain next week.
Okay. Go again.
Shall I read it over?
Yes.
Okay, item number 1, Tom Rose, St. John's World Energy Dinner Invite, $394.26. Item number 2, Tom Rose, Expense Dinner Lake City, $642.37. Item number 3, Tom Rose, Roaming Charges, Germany Travel, $498.14. Item number 4, Tom Rose, roaming cell, Lake,
Charges.
roaming charges for the cell, Lake City, $532.87. And item number 5, Tom Rose Travel EU Funded Inclusion Program, $347.44. I so move.
Okay, and before we complete that, we'll ask Councillor Boland to step into the lobby too, right? No, or do
No,
we
we're
we
gonna
got to
vote
vote
on
on
this.
it first?
We're gonna vote on it.
Okay,
Okay.
my one job as chair failed. Okay, so we are gonna vote.
Yeah,
We've got a motion from Councillor, wait, do we have a seconder?
Should have been put 2. Should have been separate.
Yeah,
Anyway, did you move?
second, yeah, she's so
moved.
moved. Second. Laura, Councillor Aylward, seconded by Councillor Aylward, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Tom, you may come back in and Tracy.
You can leave your cast there if you want, Tracy. Okay, thank you very much for that, Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow.
You're welcome, sir.
So, Chairman, Councilor White, you can continue with items number 6 and 7.
And
You know,
it's a
Chairman.
it's a council
Chair.
expense claim requesting approval to pay council express claims as listed. Tracy Bolin Materials for the Christmas Adventure, $188.03. And Tracy Bolin Supplies for the Christmas Adventure, $271.35. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second.
I'll second.
Second by Councilor Tristan Yulin, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Councilor Bowman, you can return to the table.
And bring your cast
It
with you.
makes sounds now, so the camera. So,
Okay, Councilor White, you can continue with item number 14.
Item number 14 is a grant to the request for a grant for the Caribou Curling Club, requesting approval to provide a grant to the Caribou Curling Club in the amount of $10,000. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
second.
Second Deputy Mayor Stephenville. Little bit of trivia on Caribou just for a moment. I'm a big trivia guy. I watch Cash Cab a lot. I'm just saying. But anyways, the caribou is one of the only animals that has arteries run in both directions.
Yeah.
And that's why they can handle the cold so much, because their circulatory system is one of the best circulatory systems of any animal on the planet. So just a little heads up on the caribou.
Oh, wow, that's
Interesting.
good.
So we have a motion, we didn't get a seconder?
Did we?
Yeah, who seconded that?
I second
Yeah, okay.
it. No, I think
That caribou had you on the other.
I'm trying to wonder what if that's, hey, if
Curling club.
that had to do.
That was a $10,000
Yeah.
caribou we're
Yeah.
talking about here.
And anyway, just another little piece of history now on caribou. This year, we've had them a scattered time over the last 10 years. The scattered caribou come to our farm property.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But the piece of wetland, the marshland that travels just north of Area 13 heading towards my farm property, in the early days, that was called Caribou Mash.
Really?
Because the caribou trails used to come through there. And that's why there were caribou down on the Port-au-Port Peninsula in the early days. So migratory animals move around and that's like the fence on White's Road. It helped motorists because of moose, but it actually changed the migratory patterns of the caribou. And that's why there's caribou down on the bogs by Steamboat Crossing now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So on that note, all in favor?
aye.
I know it was an expensive caribou, but
Well, you know, did
Worth
you
it.
know that the alpacas only had one set of teeth? Did you know that?
Wow.
That's why their teeth protrude right out?
Wow.
You know that?
Oh, I didn't.
No?
I didn't either, but Dr. Vermack came here and we're showing him around. We took him down to the farm down there. And the little boy was only young. He says, Dad, that guy needs to go to the dentist. I found out after that, they only had one set of teeth. Anyway.
okay. Okay, Councilor Myra White, item number 15.
A grant to the Regional Aquatic Center, requesting approval to provide a grant to the Regional Aquatic Center in the amount of $20,000. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second, Councilor Tracy Boland. I just want to say that we haven't yet met with the new town council elected in Kippens, but it's time. I do know that the previous council had decided to renege on their regional contribution to the Regional Aquatic Center. But maybe it's time that we will put in a formal request to meet with the new council in Kippens to determine what are their
Intentions?
Yeah.
It's moving forward. We hold a lot of the major pieces of recreational infrastructure. We bore all the costs now. But a lot of neighboring communities benefit. So it's time to have some discussion. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 16, a request for funding, Stephenville Airport Corporation. Requesting approval to provide funding to the Stephenville Airport Corporation in the amount of $50,000. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councillor Laura Aylward. Question? Discussion?
I'll start. I'm gonna start by saying I'm very, very glad to hear. But in the last number of weeks that the outstanding creditors have finally been made whole. After 17, 18 years, I'm not sure the exact number.
Seven.
But that's wonderful. I applaud the purchaser for that, and we're starting to see now measurable progress, which is good. That's what the community wanted to see. That's where we're to. As I stated in the past, when I started to vote no in June, was all about cost recovery. We don't have that yet, and as we've learned, it's hard to get that in the way that our legislation is set up. I'll add to that, if we had a definitive date tonight, I would vote yes. But we don't have either one of those things. Unfortunately, I wish we could say we had one or the other. And if we had one or the other, I'd say yes. Unfortunately, we don't have either one. So tonight I'm going to respectfully vote no. And I do hope and pray, like the rest of you, this comes to an end very soon. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Question?
I'm gonna vote, yes, because I feel that as a taxpayer and, knowing a few people that have used the air ambulance just this past year, which has saved their life, I'm gonna vote for that reason, because to me, as a taxpayer and a counselor, you can't put a price on somebody's life. So to me, air ambulance means everything to a lot of the taxpayers here in this town. So I vote yes on the airport.
Any other question?
Not a question, I guess it's just a comment. Lenny, I respect what you said at this table this evening. I understand exactly where you're coming from, because many's the times I kind of felt the same way. I'm there to the point where I think I feel like this is going to be the last bit of money. And that's why I am so much for it. And I know a lady that had a heart attack just around Christmas. And if the air ambulance hadn't been here, she would never have needed it. So again, like her, I have to say yes, because it's the taxpayer's life that comes into play. And I know it's 50,000, but I look at a life and what is a life worth? So I respect everybody's opinion, but thank you. So I'm going to vote yes.
Yeah. I'd just like to speak, I guess, before I call for the vote. I look at it as more as the airport is an economic engine for our town. It always have been. Unfortunately, in the last 20 years, the town had to underwrite to keep the operation going. But with World Energy on our footsteps in town, with offices, with construction happening, that airport is critical to them. Obviously, it's critical to Carl Diamond. He would not have entered a term to purchase the airport with a business plan to invest, to grow the airport on the aerospace sector. And the airport is so important in so many ways, and we've said it, this council, many councils before, and many councils after we leave will be saying it, I'm sure, that from military to international to business attraction to air ambulance. Remember, we have the most air ambulances of any airport in the province. And it's a testimonial for me this morning. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning because my daughter, who's an ER nurse, had to be at the hospital for 5 o'clock to get patients ready to get on an air ambulance flight this morning in St. John's. She's probably not back yet, but those patients required critical care. And, the crews at the airport got to keep that runway open for those flights. And I think our runway would be equal to about 13 kilometers of Hanson Highway. That's how big that runway is. It's a big piece of asphalt. So we have had some good discussion, good debate, very professional. And it hasn't been easy to disperse funds. But on that note, I would, if no other question,
I would just like to say that everything that you said is correct. All the years that I've been here, and all the conversations that we've had with other councillors and other mayors were all about the economy and how we need the airport. And even some councillors would say, well, let it close and then we'll reopen. I said, no, if you close this airport, it will never open again. That is not going to happen, not while I'm sitting here anyway. But, you know, there's a lot of good things that happen. Like you said, not only the air ambulance, but others. The air ambulance is they're vital, like you said, because, well, there's people that have died here waiting to get a bed in St. John's. And, you know, if the air ambulance wasn't here, there would be more people.
Oh.
So, you know, that in itself is the big deal. And not only that, the emergency landings that we've had.
Yeah, well, it's funny, you got me triggered on the, you know, on June 24th, we're gonna have a very interesting day in Stephenville, Newfoundland, where we have $1 million production and PBS out of the US coming in to shoot a major cultural production in Stephenville. And that would not be happening if we didn't have the airport, because what precipitated the storyline is the role that Stephenville played during 9/11.
Yes,
You know, so you can see how sometimes there are other tangents that
yes,
show the importance. And remember, a lot of people don't realize we have Canadian Coast Guard with a helicopter base in Stephenville. They are secondary. They're not a primary search and rescue, but they're a secondary. It's like search and rescue. In Gander's primary, Coast Guard is secondary to search and rescue. And this airport sits in the middle of 1.8 million square miles of the Rescue Coordination Center that goes at 50 west longitude in the North Atlantic. And we're right at the epicenter. And in search and rescue, Tristan, you would know, equal time points is critical, you know, for reaching people and your logistics. So on that note, all in favor?
aye.
Contra mine?
It's gonna be a no for me too.
Okay, so we have 2 contra mine noted and 5, so motions carried. I want to thank everybody for their debate on that. It is always a big touch point for us, but we tend to get through it. So I want to thank council for all the discussion for and against, because it is part of democracy.
Item number 17, approval to travel to FCM Sustainable Communities Conference, February. I'm
Jennifer,
sorry.
step away from the table. I should.
Yeah,
7 years in the can you take over?
Ken?
Tom, the only one go?
Yeah, he's the only one going now.
Approval to travel FCM Sustainable Communities Conference, February the 7th to the 10th in Ottawa. Requesting approval from Mayor Tom Rose to travel to Ottawa on February 7th to the 10th, 2023 for FCM Sustainable Communities Conference. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Meyer-White, seconder.
Second?
Second by Councillor Aylward. Question?
I want to say, I think we should be staying on the ground right now. That's all I got to say.
Okay, and for people who are uncertain, this is a FCM stands for Federation of Canadian Municipalities. So this is a gathering of people from different municipalities for Sustainable Communities Conference. So just in case people are wondering what FCM means. Okay, so we've got a mover and a seconder. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contraminded?
Aye.
One contramind and motion carried.
Okay, Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, thank you for that. Okay, I'll turn it back to our chairperson,
There you go.
Councilor Myra White.
Item number 18, approval to award the RFP 2022-007 Municipal Growth Plan Consulting Services. Requesting approval to award the RFP 2022-007 Municipal Growth Plan Consulting Services to Upland Planning and Design Studio in the amount of $57,500, 0 cents, HST included. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second by Councilor Lenny Tiller. I just want to add that this is a great step. I want to thank management for getting this moving for us. We did say in the fall that we had to start planning for the expansion of Stephenville. This would include looking at our residential, our commercial, our light industrial, and our heavy industrial. Because in all those sectors, Stephenville will grow. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item number 19, approval to hire fire chief. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville Council approved to hire Steve Morris in the position of fire chief for the town of Stephenville. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second, Councilor Lenny Tiller. Any questions? I just want to say we've been without a fire chief for quite some time. And
We had an acting,
we've
we had
had
an acting
acting.
fire chief.
Yeah, and but tonight there was a accident and I hope everybody's okay. But while I was driving here, there was an accident on West Street and Glen Street. And you know, our fire department actually plays more of a role responding to motor vehicle accidents than they do fighting fires. We don't have as many fires anymore, and that's a good thing, but we seem to have a lot of accidents, and that's a bad thing. And cell phones and distractions and people in a hurry and cognitive abilities as we're becoming an aging population plays a role there too, you know, so many factors. So I'm just really pleased that we have Mr. Steve Morris that has accepted the position. And I look forward for his role as the chief. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Susan, okay. Council Knight, motion carried. Okay, is there anything late on finance?
Myra says, hope not.
Okay.
That was a long.
I gotta give my,
I can have a recess and you can grab a coffee if you want.
No, just let her refire up her lips there now.
Okay, yeah.
That's what was happening. They were gliding over.
Anybody want a candy bar? Give me some nap.
On that time, I'll turn it over to 5.2, our Chair of Planning, Councilor Lori Elbert.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Planning and traffic today is not too long. First item is request for approval to issue permit to operate a pet food and supply store, retail store, and erect a sign on the building located at 44 Queen Street. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Lori Elbert. Seconder?
second.
Second by Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
Can
carried.
I ask a question on that? Got nothing to do
Sure.
with the vote. I'm voting yes. Is that the same one that's in Corner Brook?
I'm not sure,
I
I think
don't
it
know.
is a chain, isn't it?
I've no.
Is it? Okay, Colin just confirmed.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know, because I don't have a pet. 101, 107 Georgia Drive, request approval to remove curb to extend and create
Yeah.
parking spaces and
Oh,
repair.
hold on one second, just a query from our town clerk. We did vote all in favor, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was it was unanimous. Okay.
Okay, 101, 107 Georgia Drive, request approval to remove curb to extend and create parking spaces and repair and replace roofing materials on 5 canopies on the building located at 101, 107 Georgia Drive. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Laura Elbert, seconder.
Second.
Second by Councilor Myra White, all in favor.
Aye.
Motion carried.
1 5 Neptune Drive, Janice Kennedy, CPA, Professional Corporation. Request approval to operate an accounting firm, practice and erect a sign on the building located at 1-5 Neptune Drive. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Laura Aylward, seconder. And second by Councillor Tracy Bowen. Just like to say, it's nice to see CPA, Canadian Professional Association of Accountants, have a designation, and Janice Kennedy, I believe, is originally a Cornerville that I believe took over Colin Roberts.
Yes.
So
Can I speak to that for a second and just wish her the best? Janice was our sociology teacher. My first year at
Yes.
CNA in 2017, and I always made fun that a sociology teacher became an accountant.
yeah.
She's going to do wonderful, and I'm very proud of her.
Yeah.
Actually, I taught with her mother and I know her well too, so I wish her the best and it's nice to see her in town. Okay, next one.
Okay, 44 Queen Street, Toulon Development Corporation, which of course is the mall. Request approval to repair loading door located at rear entrance of building located at 44 Queen Street. Mall. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Laura Aylward, seconder.
I'll second.
Second, Councillor Lenny Tiller, all in favor?
Oh, it's Tristan.
Oh, Tristan got it ahead of me?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Oh,
I gotta clean-
Let's have some pretty voice.
I gotta
No
go
doubt,
how to
no
get some smudges out of my glasses, because they don't clean glasses anymore at, you gotta buy new ones, eh?
it's not easy.
Yeah.
So
all in favor?
I just want to say before the vote that,
Yeah.
Toulon, you know, I believe that we should, write them a letter to give, request that they do a really update on the mobs, the pool
Yeah.
mob. It's all right what they're doing, we thank them for that,
The
but
timing could be there.
we need that mall.
Yeah.
With a facelift, it's not had one since
Yeah.
it's been here,
So,
okay?
so could we is that a kind of consensus of council that we would ask management to reach out to Toulon
Yeah.
Development?
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially
Yes.
what's happening in Stephenville with the growth that's coming. It's, yeah, that's from the 70s, that mall.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a lot of years. It's 50 years. With a major upgrade, so
That to be a separate motion. I would move that.
that
Well,
would be,
don't really need to be a motion.
no, I don't think it's a motion for consensus to write a letter.
Motion on the table.
Did you put a motion on the table?
No, I was just making
Recommendation.
comments, the rectification wasn't a
Well, you can
motion.
put it in the motion.
We can put it in motion.
So we got a motion from Councillor Laura Aylward. Or do we bring that up as a late item?
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
do this motion first. We'll have to go to some-
Yeah, we need
Okay,
to
so,
vote on this
so
motion first.
all in favor on the loading docks with Toulon?
Aye,
Okay,
Yeah.
motion carried.
yeah.
So let's move that item, Jennifer, to new business. Make a note here. Okay,
Okay, the next item is, traffic, no left turn. Request approval that Town Council of Stephenville prohibit left turn out of the access from Glen Street, located next to Mary Brown's, onto West Street. Wasn't that, for temporary?
yes.
But temporary is not listed here.
Right.
Okay, can we get get that added to the motion? That the town council will provide a temporary left turn. Well, let's make an addition to that, Jennifer?
Prohibit.
For temporary,
Yes. Until sidewalks get realigned.
Prohibit it temporarily.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
What if,
Temporarily prohibit left turn.
Yeah.
If you prohibit temporarily, you're prohibiting the word temporarily.
I'm so glad we got Susan there for that
But
one.
anyway, that's,
Yeah.
Let's change that all over.
The
that's right.
children crossing the road and,
okay,
yeah,
I got a call question on it too.
Okay,
Motion has been.
okay.
what type of light?
okay, I'll read it again now.
Okay,
Okay. Request approval that the Town Council of Stephenville temporarily prohibit left turn out of the access from Galang Street, located next to Mary Brown's onto West Street. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Lori Aylward, seconder.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilor Tristan Yulin, all in favor.
Question?
Question.
I wasn't part of this discussion. And, so I'm just wondering, what research we've done or whatever that has suddenly led us to doing what we're doing.
Yeah, at the planning meeting, just for clarity, we had discussions from our Director of Public Works, Dwayne. We've had input from the RCMP, and we had significant input from the principal at primary school. And what was tending to happen, there was two issues with traffic coming out of Glen Street by Mary Brown's. If they were turning left, they were focused on their yield to the right for traffic, but then they would lose visibility on the crosswalk that was there for the children. And there's been some near misses with children. So Public Works recommended we'll do this temporary measure because we'll move those crosswalks in the spring further down to make it safer for children to cross. And it was also actually slowing traffic at the intersection. So there was two major reasons. The one that superseded the importance was the safety of the children crossing.
Didn't we enter into discussions with the school earlier this year about moving that crosswalk and they weren't
They didn't want to.
agreeable to it?
If I could add that was the school board, that it's not so much about moving the crosswalks, but the crosswalks had to be able to cross through the fence, and they didn't want to take an access point and it was a fence. So we're starting that discussion now with the RCMP and ourselves to be able to develop a traffic scheme for that area. We went in multiple meetings from, I think, June until about August, that it was apparent that we wouldn't be able to do it. The hope is that what we'll do is move the crosswalk from the bottom of the hill near Glen Store to the top of the hill. It's much more visible.
Yeah.
And then allows, especially if someone is doing a left-hand turn, a lot more visible and they're able to focus, and then move the crosswalk at that intersection midway between Glance and Main Street, so to make it a lot more visible. And then hopefully we'll cut through the fence and then we'll be able to access, from an accessibility point of view, be able to make it much safer.
Okay.
And in the future,
yeah.
it's possible we're gonna have to redo the light there
Yeah.
to incorporate crosswalks.
Yeah, because I mean,
To have a flashing lights.
I'm not against what you're proposing because it's temporary anyway, but it just seems to me that most intersections where there's lights, that's where crosswalks are. Is it not?
Mm-hmm.
So,
With that with restricted on left-hand turn, then that crosswalk becomes much safer.
Safer.
yeah,
Yeah.
Much more safer. The other issue that we have to deal with going forward, and at some point, I think we're gonna have to look at a traffic engineer, is the amount of traffic coming down West Street.
Yeah.
I think what happens is ideally, that traffic should be going up,
Henson Highway.
Henson Highway, and then coming into the city or the town when it needs to come. You know, driving up, I mean, I've done 4 or 5 in the last 2 weeks looking at the traffic there, and it's just.
Yeah.
You see that.
Yeah.
That's what I found.
Okay, good discussion. Thanks for that, Colin, our Chief Administration Officer. Before we go on, I call for the vote. I just want to say too that we had discussion at planning meeting that all of our lights in Stephenville, I think they're looking at, I'm not sure when, but from 11 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning, they will just go to flashing reds.
And ambers.
And ambers. So that it doesn't, you don't have to sit there for 2 or 3 minutes and there's no traffic at 3:45 in the morning.
That's right.
Correct.
So it just, so all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next item is Town of Stephenville Mission Statement. Request approval to adopt a new mission statement. The Town of Stephenville as presented. I so move.
I'll move by Councilor Lori Aylward, seconder.
Second.
Second by Councilor Tristan Yulin. Just want to say that's the work of our economic development. We do have a company that's working on our new website. We've reviewed it. A couple little wordsmiths, I think, was added and looked at our planning meeting. So good work there. And I really like it. Makes you feel proud. So all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We'll read it at the next public meeting.
The last item is, request for proposal, short-term lease, industrial building, 1 Connecticut Drive. Request approval to issue a request for proposal for short-term lease, industrial building, 1 Connecticut Drive. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Laura Elwood, seconder. Second by Councilor Tracy Boland. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I should have asked a question before I call for the vote, but nice to see the interest of our Stephenville industrial facility. When we have interest to have it leased, that means revenue from the town of Stephenville. So is there anything late for planning? Nothing. Okay, no bylaws and regulations today. What about unfinished business? Anything there?
Not that I know of.
Actually talk about the new fireworks regulation, just,
Okay.
moving forward, just a reminder that I'm reading up on, before you put fireworks off, to check with the town first.
Yeah.
This is just a reminder.
I
And
think too that, once we get our website up and running and we have the ability to even look at app development and a further communication strategy that will come from this new company, that's going to help us get our message out. And that's one of the challenges for Stephenville right now. We don't have a local newspaper. Now, I know they've become kind of archaic in some ways because of technology advancement, but we don't even have our core radio station. And maybe down the road, I've always thought about it, just never kind of jumped in and got it done or tried to get it done, but we're going to soon need our own community radio. And that's something that maybe in the new year we could talk about. So I just do have one thing for new business. I just want to say that very proud to see a new company starting up in Stephenville, opening their doors on Monday morning. It's called Salt Life. They're a marine and industrial supply company with roots from Ontario and Cape St. George. It's Monday, so any of the public, any members of council, please drop down, have a coffee, meet the entrepreneurs that invested in our town. But it's so nice to see because our port's going to get busy. Little Port Harmon is getting busier all the time. And so our marine vessels here, I'm sure that they have to travel quite a distance to buy supplies for marine supplies and industrial, but this is hydraulics. This is marine supplies, industrial supplies, but it just shows that tertiary industries are now starting to move into Stephenville, even though the full announcements are not fully done, but there's enough momentum happening in Stephenville that it takes entrepreneurs that want to get the heads up on competition to move in. So I wish the proponents the very best.
Oh, it is located at what address?
It's at the corner of
The old carpet.
the old
Queen's
carpet
Main.
right across from the subway building at the main traffic lights on Main Street.
What time is the opening?
I think any time after 10 o'clock.
Monday, is it?
Is there a ribbon cutting ceremony or anything, or is that's up in the past?
Pardon?
Ribbon
I'm
cutting.
not sure if they're doing that on Monday, but
I like
I
that.
would invite any counselors or a member of the public to go down and shake their hand and wish them all the best and patronize them for the products and services that they have. Okay, so on that note, we're over.
no,
Nope.
I got a motion to put on.
Letter to the month.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
we have a late motion under new business from Councilor Lori Eller.
Okay, now, let me see, good word that. I'm recommending that we write a letter to whoever it is that responsible for the updating or renovations of Toulon construction. It's in Montreal, as far as I know, to come out, to come here and tell us what plans they have going forward to do something with the mall. So how can we shorten that up now, Susan?
How about move that, management right to long development?
Yeah.
To, express our, concerns about, a redevelopment and timing of a redevelopment of the Stephenville Mall as it has sat there for 50 years without any major renovation.
Yeah,
Extremely.
And that the timing of Stephenville's growth, from 2023 and beyond, would be very, timing or, timing for Toulon to look at expanding their footprint.
yeah, that's a good letter. I don't know about emotion.
No, not gonna be motion, just move on.
Just saying, there's lots of content in the letter, but it's a good letter. It's a good letter. Motion's just write them and ask them.
Agreed, and I'll say, be it resolved that management, right, Toulon, construction, is that what they're called? Toulon.
Toulon Development.
Corporation
Yeah.
Toulon Development Corporation, yeah.
to request a meeting to discuss renovations and upgrading to their mall.
Sounds good.
There you go.
I kind of went on a little bit, helps management frame out the letter.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that was.
Just a little
Take that right there.
So you have a motion on the table. How about a seconder? Councilor Lenny Teller, all in favor? Motion carried. Okay, anything else?
Upgrades and,
If,
what they say, upgrades and renovations, that was it, Lenny?
The 42 Queen Street.
so on that note, I would ask a member of this elite council of 2023 in the great town of Stephenville, Newfoundland, to forward a motion to adjourn this great meeting.
Go ahead, Hunter.
Moved by Councilor Tracy Boland, seconder.
All of us.
Second, by Councilor Marrow, all in favor?
Aye.
And also, I want to thank the
Councilor Marrow.
33 attendees that attended our meeting tonight. I think that's a record.
33.
31.
What?
That's a record.
Yeah.
Where did they come from?
You know what? The eyes are on Stephenville. That's all
Fantastic.
I can say.
New Year's resolution.
How many of them are?
I would love
from
to see them.
Stephenville? I wonder, that's excellent. Just to let them know, are we still live?
Yeah.
That they're welcome to come in too now.
Yeah,
To the gallery.
yeah.
We're making the
Okay, so we are good. Motion adjourned. All in favor? Yep.
Aye.
So